Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. After a long lull, Henry and Kevin are both here at the same time.
A three-man beer review.
Yep. Kevin, have you ever been here since Three Floyds, I think? That was like
It's
October.
been a while.
Yeah. But Henry was here last week, so
Yeah.
nobody missed it.
It was boring, you know.
We're doing a pretty special beer today. I'm not even really sure of the name. I guess it's Bull de Vignes. I didn't take French in high school, did you?
No.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Foreign words, you guys remember.
Yeah, it
Watch
was
the show.
It was sent to me from Romain in France, who is my hookup for the West E12 and the other beers. He really wants us to try it. He said it's a sour beer, all I know. 6% ABV. I mean, we could look this up on Beer Advocate and all that stuff, but I like to go into these things as blind as possible. Wow, very tart.
Pleasant.
Very tart. You get like kind of a solid middle and the tartness on the fringes of the palate on the outside of the beer.
It's also pretty dry.
The exhalation is interesting. You know, as I breathe it up through my sinuses and out, I don't know how to place it. It's a bit astringent. But
There's
it's
a touch of a good astringency in there. It's very tart. Chad's right, it's very dry.
Mm-hmm.
And much like we notice, even though I see those small bubbles, it's, I don't want to say flat in a bad sense, but
Yeah, it's just,
it doesn't have that super high carbonation of some of the American sours.
kind of like a tepid. Yeah, it's flat, but it's not like flat tasting. It's just as far as the actual mouth feel.
In this case, I think it works. I really do. I think that the lower carbonation here is allowing me to have a different handle on the flavor than I otherwise would. So,
Is there a little peach in there?
That's what I was
Peach?
thinking. I was about to say, do you guys taste kind of a peach? Using my Lindemann's glass, and it does have the Pêché. It is kind of like a white grape.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if that's just the souring or if there's real fruit in there. I really can't
I'm
tell.
telling like kind of the core of the body. This is
Plenty left.
This is to me a peach sour Tootsie Pop, in which I get the peach on the middle and the sour on the edges. You know?
Yeah.
If you were licking this lollipop, you get the sour, and then once you get to that middle, I get like a peach middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of think of it like as a Jolly Rancher or
The Jolly Rancher. See, it has
or,
that
Sour Patch
there's
Kids.
that body in the middle that doesn't have the sourness to it. Some sours have sour 100% throughout the body. I get a note in there that isn't sour, like almost the malt base to it or whatever is in there.
A little bit sweet.
Is a little sweet, not as sour. It provides some nice contrast.
Yeah, either peach or white grape. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'm not. You guys are both getting an oak or wood kind of.
Kind of
It's
more
mild.
on the nose than I did the body.
Yeah. I noticed that it's like lingering. It's almost the same effect like when you eat sour candy, where it like rips up the middle of your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting that feeling?
A little bit.
There's a good acid content in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
A little funk on the nose, a little of that.
It's got a cidery quality to it also that,
Yeah.
in general, so far, pleasing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what kind of cheese do you have here?
This is sharp provolone.
A sharp provolone. There should be a good fat content in there, which I find important for a sour.
Probably help take the edge off the acidity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The cheese is good.
Now I'm not getting as much tartness now. I'm just kind of getting the fruity taste on the edges.
Wow.
See, I'm still getting a tart sourness.
Mm-hmm.
I am, just not as much.
But it's a cutting sour. You can feel the sour almost wash away the fat from the cheese, and it really accentuates what you were calling a peach earlier, and I think you might have mentioned white grape. That fruit flavor there is accentuated tremendously by the cheese. Although here's a case where a little more carbonation would probably bring that out.
And it gets,
But
I'm getting a sharpness here now.
Mm-hmm.
Before the cheese was a little bit more round out. Cheese is bringing out that sharp crispness that you're talking about. Not in terms of the mouthfeel, but the tartness becomes very sharp. You know, it's not as constant. The sour ale because it's sour, it stays after your palate, much like an American IPA stays after your palate. The hops,
Right.
it becomes, I think, maybe more numbing than annoying to your palate. So, you're right, you know, I've had some beers I didn't like after the first sip and halfway through the bottle, going, oh, this is better, but I feel like it's because my palate is dead, I can't taste anything.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit different than a hop cloy, and for me, it's just the high acidity of the beer has a tendency, at least in my case, to, you know, it thickens the saliva a little bit, it wears on the tongue a little bit, and it changes the feel of your mouth as you're drinking it, which is going to influence your perception. That's why I think something like a cheese, for instance,
Right.
helps break that up. In terms of just enjoying this, I don't think I'd have more than one glass in a row for that reason.
Yeah, I think if you want to maintain your palate, now if you like this and you want to drink it all day, that's fine. If we might shoot another beer review after this.
Yeah.
I would.
Stop
We're drinking out of our flutes, which is a smaller size glass for pairing with cheese. You want to maintain your palate. This is gonna wear on it.
So what are you thinking rating wise? Because I'm kind of on a border between like a 7 and an 8, like a B plus. I mean, I definitely like it, and I'm impressed by how impressed I am with it. If that makes any sense, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm impressed by what it's able to accomplish. I'm not drinking this and like it's not, you know, knocking my mental socks off or whatever, but I definitely like it for what it is. I think this is like a kind of a high 7, low 8, 7-point smiley faces, you might say. What do you think, Ken?
It's you know, a grade above this.
You know, I'm gonna kind of cop out here in that there's a difference between American sours and Belgian sours, and I've established that difference.
So this
and
is from France.
I know what to look for when I'm drinking Belgian sour as opposed to American sour. Again, this is my first French sour, so I'm going to have to rate it on my own idea of what I think they're trying to accomplish, and it could be completely off base. I'm going to go in that high 7, low 8 range that you're in there, you know.
Right. Like B plus?
Yeah, it's definitely a B plus in that range, with the chance to go down to a B minus or go up to an A minus.
Right.
Because I'm not quite sure what they're trying to accomplish, but it's definitely solid beer. It's nice and it has something different to it that I've had from a lot of sours.
What do you think, Henry?
Well, like you guys are struggling with here, novelty always makes a beer difficult to rate. I mean, how are you going to stack up something against other competitors? How are you going to just not go on your own surprise? You know, rating a beer, you got to take a lot into account. Here, I've got to consider my limited experience with goos and other sours. In this case, it's good. It is solid, but I've got to go straight 7.
All right. But either way, I mean, it's definitely a good beer. You know, give it a solid thumbs up. So, just about wraps it up for this episode. Thanks to Henry and Kevin for coming over, and thanks to Romain in France for sending me this beer.
And thanks for watching this review.
Yep. See you guys next time.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's beer review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.